Oh, Lord, I was talking to y'all and wasn't even talking to y'all. But anyway, that's good because I shouldn't have been talking to y'all. Let me let the BB, hold on. Child, anyway, so, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, it's 2 minutes to 12. Oh my God, it's 2 minutes to 12. And y'all know what that means, right? Y'all know at 12 o'clock, that's it. You know, that's it. And after 12 o'clock, ain't gonna be no more pod again. Yeah, no, truth is, it just ain't gonna be no pod casting superstars. And so, anyway, shout out to that. It is what it is. The news just didn't deserve me. Mm, yeah, baby, truth is. You know, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I tell y'all all the time, when the news ain't newsing, I'm not doing that, you know? Yeah. Say, yeah. When the news ain't newsing, I'm going to back up off of it. Yeah, I'm going to get up off of it. So shout out to that. But anyway, y'all, hold on. I said, hold up, because I'm here to slang my chalk. So shout out to that. Y'all make sure y'all scoop up and hit the damn like. Now, hold on. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to my channel, okay, and to my party. Okay, pull up. This is my live stream. Uh, Virtual party. So shout out to that. Child, like, ugh, I don't know. Like, I can't explain it, but it is what it is. Let's do it. I said do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. So shout out to that. And shout out to Kaya. Now, what was I gonna tell y'all? First of all, y'all scoot up and hit the damn like. It's your girl. I got it, Sharon. I'm in the building. Y'all, hold on. Y'all know what it is? Bless you, baby. You know what it is? It's hard to explain it, but like I don't have a lot of energy today. Yeah, not like if energy was if the highest the energy could be was a 10, I'm like probably at a 5, And honestly, I don't know what that's about. Um, I'm just not the biggest fan, if that makes sense. Now, truth is, like, some days I wake up feeling like, yeah, now, you know what I'm saying? Energy on 10. And like, I really wish that those days were the only days that I had to record, if that makes sense. Yeah, now truth is. But, that's not the way life works. Sadly, it is what it is. Sometimes you just be having to do what you gotta do. Rain, sleet, Rain or sleep. Child, rain or sleep. So it is what it is. I'm here to be consistent. Yeah, I'm here to show y'all what it what it is, what it's like, or what it do, so to speak, when you don't really, you know what I'm saying? Because, child, truth is, I could have kept doing what I was about to do. And that's just chill. Like, y'all, can I keep it real for a second? Like, I'm just in a really good space. Like, as far as just like chilling, I'm just so grateful to God. Thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? But just some bullshit come across my mind. Yeah, nah. Truth is, and then like I gotta work through that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have to work that out like a leg cramp. But anyway, y'all, hey, we about to talk that talk. I want y'all to know that now. So make sure y'all scoot up, get comfortable, and hit the like button. Even though, I don't know, I just don't really feel like myself today. If that makes sense. I mean, I know it's myself, but mm, something feels off. You know. But it is what it is. Like I said, child. Um, we about to work right on through that. So y'all make sure y'all scoot up, get comfortable, and hit the damn like. It's your girl Shay Renee, and I'm in the building. I said, that made me feel better. That made me feel a little better. So shout out to that. I'm trying to take my hair down. I had put my hair up in some like temporary twist. And child, I said, I'll just put these together. Real, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I want to do me some more. I want to do them better. Yeah, because these is just like, man, when I say temporary, they was temporary for me. But, I just put them together for real. Ooh, and I don't know, I probably left them up longer than I should because this one is acting all tangling and dangling and giving me a hard time, baby. Yes. Ooh, don't do me like that. Ooh, don't do me like that. No, I'm tender headed. Truth is, and that thing felt like it was just ripping my little hair to shreds. Not my hair, my not my hair. Ow. Oh, I'm tender-headed. It's my scalp. It felt like it was just ripping my little scalp to shreds. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I should have never left. Um, my hair needs twisted long. Obviously, I guess that's what it's telling me. I don't even know how long it's been. Probably ain't even been that long. Child. A week. A week. Anyway, shout out to that. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Like, I hate when I press live, right? And I don't feel like I'm ready. Damn, I hate that. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to y'all. I need it to make sense to somebody. But it's crazy because right before I click live, it's like, you ready, But nah, I think I need to really start, preparing and stuff like I used to. I used to take my stuff way more serious. Child, it was so serious, like the Joker said. But anyway, I'm here, okay? Yeah, size still deliver. Like, how it reminds me of being an employee. most employees just don't be feeling it, but they just do what they gotta do. They show the hell up, you know. And then by the end of the day, they be glad they did because they be like, wow, you know, I really showed out today. You know, I kicked butt. So shout out to that. And that's crazy too because you know in this field right here, um, what was I finna say? I mean, you could easily be like, I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. Let me tell y'all real quick before we start getting into some of today's streaming topics and whatnot. Um, I just feel tired. You know what I'm saying? And I do not like that. Um, I can't say I got a lot of rest last night though, so that's that. But let me tell y'all, this is what I want to tell y'all. So yesterday, remember I was like, I don't know, cause let me just put it like this. So, you know, like I'ma say like probably like anywhere from 2 to 5 years ago, I remember being online and I would compare myself to older people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen to the full story though. Hear me out. So like I would always remember being like I would notice that like people that were older than me don't really be online like that to me. You know, I'd be like, noted, you know. The people that are a little bit older than me don't really seem to be into social media like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they seem to be more into life versus social media, right? And so, you know, as I'm so yesterday when I was telling y'all, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But remember when I was saying it's kind of making me sad a little bit? Yes, I started thinking to myself, like, am I the older person now that's just like not into social media like that? Child, let me find out. And, you know, I'll take it a step further too. It's not just me. Honestly and truthfully, it's not just me, but it's, you know, it's hard to explain. I'm trying y'all the best way I know how. Okay, so anyway, I am, you know, lately, like, I definitely been changing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely still here, there, everywhere to get the tea. I am, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like I was telling y'all yesterday. It just makes me feel like, man, is social media coming to an end? You know, like, what is this? I do not know. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Yeah. Now, truth is, hit the like button. Y'all want the truth? You gotta be able to handle it over here with me. I'm not trying by. I'm just gonna go out on a honest heel. It is what it is. I'm going out with a honest shebang. So shout out to that. Ooh yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes, my hair's feeling real thick and real like ready to come from up out of these twists. And so anyway, um, at what point? Where was I at in the story? Yeah, so I don't know. And I'll take it a step further. It doesn't seem like it's just me, y'all. No. No, it's crazy. It seems like it's my peers as well, like meaning the people that are either around my age or been in this game for a minute, you know? Um, I'm just saying for real, because if you really pay attention, like some of the people that I follow and subscribe to, their content has changed. Now I will say I don't know. I really don't know. This is what's confusing to me. I don't know if it's me, right, that I'm getting older. Shout out to that. Like I'm aging. So I don't know if it could be that or and the only reason why I say it could be me is because even though I am, I'm still very much so engaged. I just don't necessarily engage with a lot of content that I used to engage with, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know if it's me, so to speak, or it's like an entire like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's giving everybody. Truth is, it does. I'm telling y'all right now, it does not seem like it's just me. Y'all scoot up, hit the like button. Um, we talking the era of social media when I get back. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So I'm back. But hey y'all, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I want to welcome you to my party, my streaming party. Listen, right now we're talking about the era of, this era right now of, social media. And, I was basically talking about how I don't know if I'm changing or, social media is changing, but, I'm definitely feeling, currently, I'm feeling a shift. I don't know why they made me feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I told y'all yesterday, it is kinda, and I do mean kinda. It's kinda sad, kind of makes me sad. But, honestly, if I had to guess though, being truthful for real, I think that I think that the two things can be true at once. Okay, yeah. Now, truth is, I definitely think that. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Focusing on my little ha. Anyway, so listen to this. I think yeah, y'all say y'all. I think two things can be true, at one time. I definitely think that yeah, I'm maturing, of course, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting older, by the years. It is what it is. But I also think that there is some type of shift right now going on in social media. Yeah, no, truth is, I think that too. So, in other words, I think it's changing as well as okay? It just is what it is. Because, like I said, okay. Some of the creators that I normally engage with their content, I have not been engaging with their content. But I will say, okay, so it feels like I haven't been engaging with their content, so I don't really know. I can't really say if their content is changing that much, but some of them, okay, hear me out. Some of them, their content was already changing before I quit engaging like that. Yeah, now truth is, if that makes sense. Like for instance, and I'm not trying to call nobody out, okay? Cause this is no tea, no shade. You know what I'm saying? And like I rock with everybody, okay? Who I may or may not mention because I don't know. But this is the thing, like yeah, for instance, Coffee City. I like Coffee City. I like Coffee City and I like Coffee City content. But Coffee City content has been different for a while now. Like I don't know how long. I don't know how long, but if I had to guess, um, her content has been different at least a month. At least a month now. And shout out to Coffee City. Like I said, I like her content. She does celebrity gossip. She be doing like celebrity gossip type of content to me. Um I mean, she did when I first got onto her channel. Similar to my stuff. It is what it is. Like we talk about the same stuff. And Well, so that's what made me interested in her channel in the first place, right? And but then she changed it. I don't know what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But something made her change her content to where she switched it up, and it seemed like I don't. Ooh, please don't come for me if I'm wrong. But it seems like she ended up switching up her content and making it more about politics. You know, she started talking about politics. Which, hey, if you not new here, you know what we do here. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know your girl Shay Renee. I don't I politics, but I don't talk politics. You know what I'm saying? At all. So shout out to that. I don't. Okay, that just ain't my thing. So when she made the when she made that switch, I haven't really I quit being on to her content like that. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. But you see what I'm saying? But now, shout out to Coffee City. Cause every now and then her stuff do pop up on my feed, right? And I do see where like she is doing celebrity gossip. You know what I'm saying? Again. So I don't think she ever stopped, but I think she switched up her content. It is what it is. She started to do something different. And I just feel like something is going on where, yeah, a lot of people are doing it right now. Even Armand. Even Armand. Shout out to Armand, but Armand has. If you pay attention to Armand been switching. It's hard to explain it, but I just be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to everything. And so, like, yeah, if you watch Armand been doing different things for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Remember he got hired on Fox Soul. Shout out to him and shout out to that baby. Yes, Armand said, okay, baby. He was going for the big bucks and not the whammies, which I'm not mad at it. I love it. Loved it, was rooting him on, and so happy for him. But like that ain't YouTube. I mean, they got a YouTube, right? But I don't think they stuff was mainly based on YouTube. I mean, I could be wrong though. I don't know. But it is what it is. It's not his. You see what I'm saying? He was doing his own thing. He was doing something different. Armand been doing different stuff. You know, every now and then he be hosting. He'll host different stuff. Armand be on Tubi. Armand just be doing his thing. But his content to me is kind of changing. Um, so again, I asked the question, you know what I'm saying? Are we approaching the end, you know, of social media? Like, are we approaching, a new era when it comes to this content creating stuff? Because it's kind of seeming like it. And I'm going based off of me personally, the things that I've been doing differently and other creators. Okay, it just is what it is. I'm watching my peers too, and they all are doing different stuff. I mean, hell, if you look at Kendra G, we all know Kendra G started her platform. What she got? Damn, singles. I you know. I'll cry to you before I lie to you. I don't want to do no lying. Kendra G has her own show. You know what I'm saying? That does really, really well. If you ask me viewership wise, because I'm not pocket watching, I don't know what's going on there. But you know, viewership wise, it seems to does really really well. So much to the point where Kendra G went and got her own app. That's doing something different. She went and got her own app. What else Kendra G got going on different right now? Oh, and right now Kendra has a job with Oprah or you know, Oprah's network, so to speak. You know, like yeah, Kendra G then now that's not to say she not still doing her own thing, okay? Because shout out to her, I believe she is still doing her own thing, but still, you see what I'm saying? It's a shift. There's something different in her content. She then went over there and seemingly, got her a second check, or well, I can't call it a second check because I don't know what kind of checks, but she done got her a seemingly a job, okay, over at on network. And then, like I was saying, then you got Armand too. Armand doing his thing, seemingly on. I don't know where Armand be, but I think he be on Kick. So that's a shift. You got a lot of people jumping ship and going on to these other platforms too. And when I say these other platforms, I mean they streaming. Okay, they doing Twitch, they doing Kick, and those are the popular ones that I know of right now. And who else? Who else? Who else? Even Tasha. You know what I'm saying? Even Tasha K. Like if you just pay attention, you know what I'm saying? You have a long list of creators that are just doing different things. Shoot, you pay attention to Jess. I mean, Jess still doing what she been doing, as far as like her comedy and stuff like that. But man, they was talking about some stuff the other day online. On the air just recently, talking about DJ Envy wife having to dig in his and clean it out for him for the first time. He's oh Lord, it was a mess, a freaking aired over the airways mess. Okay. But anyway, I was like, I don't know. I personally, I don't know how much longer the Breakfast Club gonna be sitting up there talking about that. Truth is, sit up there talking about that type of stuff. Yeah, because the Breakfast Club 5 years ago, it just, I was gonna say they wouldn't have said that, but I can't say that. They probably would have said that. But, 5 years ago, the Breakfast Club damn show seemingly had more emotion, you know. I mean, I'm just saying, if you pay attention to a lot of stuff that's going on, you look at Angela Yee. Angela Yee career is doing really, really good, by the way. Shout out to Yee, but I don't know. Yee, she does other things too. If you pay attention to her, she talks about being into real estate, and selling properties and owning properties and what else you got? Don't let me get the line. I think she got like some type of, I don't know. Yeah, no, truth is, I don't know. But I think she's got her hands in on some type of coffee shop or something like that, child. But it is what it is. And honestly, I think her content is slowing down. Well, hold on. Maybe her content isn't slowing down, but maybe the push for it to be seen has been slowing down. Shit, y'all hit the like button. I don't know if it's just me, but I ain't been seeing Joe Budden them like that much either. I do not see Joe Budden that much. uh, Jim Jones them. They podcast when Jim Jones and podcast came out. I said, okay, they seem like they gonna do well. This seems like a good little lineup. I just thought they was gonna do good. And I'm not saying that they not, but I seen them on the Shade Room the other day and I was like like I didn't know if that was good or bad. It's good if they didn't pay for it. But if that was a paid post, then nah, it's not that great. It's not that great. Cause like they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? They was doing really well. It's the first time I ever really seen them on the Shade Room that I could think about. And I just don't think that's a good sign, you know? I think, maybe, just maybe, numbers could be slowing down or something. Um, it is what it is, but there is, hold on. Yeah, if y'all scoot up, be comfortable, hit the like button. Yeah, I just feel like things are changing, and there has definitely been a really big, you know, to me, okay, just my personal opinion, a shift, in content. I'm like, oh man, I'm still here for it. So, me personally, I think it's still gonna be a while. But like, no, no, I'm telling y'all, I be paying attention. You look at Storm Moreau, content to me has changed. He has changed. Um, and honestly, I'm starting to wonder, like, okay, so y'all know, hit the like. Y'all make sure y'all scoot up, hit the like button, and rock with your girl. Okay, so y'all know when I first started this conversation, the very first thing I started it out with was I used to compare I used to pay attention, not compare myself. That's the wrong way to say it. But I used to I just paid attention to how I felt like people who were older than me, you know what I'm saying, a little older than me, don't be online like that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that they don't really like social media probably as much as people who are my age or younger, or they just process it differently. It is what it is. So I really don't know if it's like in other words, I don't know if it's something that people do when they get older, you know? Because remind you, everybody that I just named are my peers, meaning we're right around the same age. Except, well, some people I don't know their age, but, some people know. But Armand, even though Armand is younger, Armand has skin. That's what old people used to say. And so I hope I used that right, Lord, and I hope I made them proud. But like, no, Armand kind of has skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what they would say. And all that means is he been around. He has longevity. So although some of these folks is older than him, he's been around. You know what I'm saying? He has the work. He's put in the work. So yeah, he about the only, one probably wasn't probably not the only one, but he one of the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? And probably Storm too, and maybe Coffee, but I don't know how old she is. But anyway, that it doesn't matter. But I was finna say the age is relevant, but no, I think the age is very relevant because what I'm saying is some of these big, these bigger. I'm saying because in regards to some of these bigger and older creators, I feel like there has been some type of shift in their content. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah, truth is, it is what it is. Um, Even like Tasha K, Tasha still works. It is what it is. Tasha still works. Just about a month ago, we was congratulating her heavy over here. Yeah, cause it ain't. Uh, we just real like that. So shout out to that. There ain't no hate. You see, it ain't no hate in our blood. So shout out to that. Not over here. There ain't no room for it either. But with that being said, I have seen a shift in Tasha's content. Now I can't say I don't. I think the shift in Tasha's content could be for different reasons. What she? I think she finna do some type of show. That tour thing she be doing. I guess I guess she be doing. I think. Don't get me. Please don't come for me if I'm wrong, because I don't necessarily know. But Tasha K be doing some type of tour. And I assume, okay, I can only assume because, again, I'm not fully informed, but I think the tour be like some type of comedy or whatever she like to do. It is what it is. I don't know what she be doing up there. Shy. But I think she about to have that. So one could say that Tasha somewhere getting ready for that. That's why her content has slowed down a bit and changed a bit. But I don't know. Personally, if I had to guess though, I just think it's because Tasha's getting older. Sure. I mean, that's what's going on with me. Yeah, truth is. And again, it's like it's hard to explain because I still mess with it. I still mess with the internet and the internet streets. I just feel like it's changing. Everything is changing. I was gonna tell y'all that uh the other day. I feel like the people who do what I do, right? The Tasha K's, the who else? The Armand Wiggins and all of them, right? Um, it ain't even that many for real no more. It's not. That's why I couldn't even name off that many. Uh, I feel like they still doing the content, but I feel like they getting older. So the content is just I feel like I can't explain it. But it's almost like being young. For real. I hate to say it. I know, cause maybe somebody will come along after me and word it a little better. That's all I could say. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not wording it right, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely feel like everybody knows what I mean and knows what I'm trying to say. So it's almost like anything that you was crazy about in your younger years. Anything. Whether I don't care what it was. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you liked going to the club. Maybe you liked drinking. Maybe in your younger years you were a runner. And you didn't slow down on running as much as you used to. Whatever it is, that's what it's like to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah, truth is, it just is what it is. It's like you go from being really excited about it to like doing it so much to where you like you can do it in your sleep. You are doing it in your sleep. You know, it's exciting. You can't wait to do it. Um, you know, and it's heavily your reality. You know what I'm saying? These days. I feel like that changes. Yeah, I feel like eventually, just like you get burnt out on stuff, hell, and you know what? I honestly feel like that's what it's like. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. And I don't think that it's like, hold on, y'all. And honestly, I don't think that it's something that people necessarily choose to change. I think it just comes natural, you know? It's just like, wow, I'm not as excited about that as I used to be, you know? Um, it's not as thrilling as it used to be, you know? My focus it's changed. You know, it's shifting. Now I'm more focused on this, you know, and it is what it is. Honestly and truthfully, I think that that is something that is naturally happening to me. And I think honestly it's naturally happening to my peers too, if that makes sense. Yeah, now truth is if you pay attention to some of these bigger creators, you know what I'm saying, after today, just pay attention, you know, and you'll see that like, wow, you know, Shay Renee, you know, was making a lot of sense. She has changed a little bit, you know, or he has changed a little bit, you know. He did used to be online way more, you know. He did seem more hungry. He did seem more excited, you know. He was doing this, you know, way more, you know. Uh you'll see that. And you'll also notice that a lot of people who are doing it now are new faces. You know what I'm saying? They're new faces and they're new creators. It is what it is. I be seeing them on my timeline every now and then, and I be like, wow, you know, who is this? Like, that's first things first. Like, who the hell is this? You know, I be like trying to get acquainted with this person first things first before I even listen to what they got to say, you know, but it's been a lot of that. You know, it's been a lot of, you know, um, like I said, newer, younger faces. You know, it just is what it is. Child, I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, now truth is, cause I ain't seen a newbie that, you know, and there's no Tino shade. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody doing their thing. But like, I just haven't seen that one newbie that made me say, oh, okay, I'm finna follow their content. Except for this one girl. Yeah, now I forgot this one girl. I think her name is Shayla B. I'm gonna have to like really read her name uh next time I'm on her page. Yeah, but what I want to tell y'all about that and her, well not her necessarily, but that is I was gonna tell y'all the other day. It's crazy. I was gonna tell y'all the other day. I just didn't know how to approach the conversation. Um, but I definitely like sharing information with the people. It is what it is. Each one teach one. And so like I wanted to tell y'all the other day, like if you're a content creator right now, right? Uh that clip stuff is hot right now. Yeah, no, truth is everybody just like wants to put up a lot of clips. And when I mean clips, I mean basically clips of people's lives. And yeah, that seems to be, you see what I'm saying? And so you have blogs like the Shade Room and all of that, where like that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Their content is kind of phasing out. In other words, I feel like it won't be long, right, before the Shade Room. And I hate to call them out because it's not like they're the only blog in town, right? But it just is what it is. They are one of the biggest, okay, the largest, like the plug, the him say. And y'all make sure y'all scoot up, hit the like button. But with that being said, um, it's just like, yeah, it won't be long before they got to get down or lay down at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Either they content gonna shift with it, with the shift being made, or I don't know. It's I would assume then they will still keep their same audience, but they won't be able to maintain a new one or a fresh one, so to speak, because yeah, the only new person that I have followed is somebody that posts clips only. It is not like what we do. You know what I'm saying? What I do here. Somebody telling you their opinion, or telling you what's going on in the internet streets. Like, yeah, I just feel like that type of content is beginning to phase, y'all. Truth is, y'all. And so, yeah, it is what it is. We are really, really. So my question to the audience is, are we approaching a new era? I think so, and like I was telling y'all yesterday, it kind of saddens me just a little bit. It does. It kind of saddens me, because I don't really want to be done with this part of my life, so to speak. But um I'm always progression is good, so whatever. It's like I trust you, Lord. I trust you in whatever it is you doing. Like I'm here for it. But yeah. Child, yeah. There's been a shift, everybody. It has been a shift in social media and a shift in the content. It just is what it is. So shout out to that. But anyway, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I'm throwing a party. So shout out to that, and shout out to you for being here and listening and tapping that down like. I know that's right. Child, so I really needed to go to the store. I did. I needed to go to the store since we've been on this thing. But it is what it is. I keep going back and forth whether I'm going to go or I'm not going to go. I'm going to go or I'm not going to go. I sure want to go. But at least I feel better now. So shout out to that. Like, yeah, I know that's right. Shout out to God. Won't he do it? When I first started, I had no energy. I was like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Turns out I didn't need nothing but the Lord and to start speaking. So shout out to that. But anyway, it's a little bit going on in these internet streets, and I promise you we're gonna talk about it today. So Cardi B has a new song out. I have not listened to it yet. I definitely need to get on it. Truth is, I just cannot be. I cannot be this late to the party, to the party, to the party, because it is what it is. I need to. First of all, I need to be able to talk what I know. So that's that. But y'all, so Cardi B got some new music out, okay? And it seemingly somehow has ruffled Akbar V's feathers. Oh, I want to get out of this. I need to run an errand. That is what gets me. Y'all hold on. Yeah. Anyway, try. So, long story short, um, Cardi B got some music out. Now listen, Akbar V, rap girl Akbar V. Akbar V needs to learn how to read the room. Yeah. Now, truth is, she just needs to learn how to read the room because it's like, okay. So first of all, let me tell y'all what happened, and then I'm gonna tell y'all my opinion on it. Child, my bad. My kids was throwing a party, throwing a party, throwing a party. Oh, they on. Every time I come outside, I'm looking for dogs. I hate that. They got the music bumping. So, child, anyway, oh, I hope y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me. Oh, I hope y'all can hear me. So, anyway, let me tell y'all. So, anyway, okay, so we all know Akbar V and Cardi B been getting into it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Akbar V and Cardi B been getting into it. Like, they can't stand each other. Yeah, now, truth is, and if you don't know, like, it's like beyond the music to me. You know what I'm saying? Because word on the curb is, you know, Cardi B then allegedly got Akbar V touched on before, okay? But that's alleged because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Truth is, I don't know. Although I will say the girl that was seen running up out of the club definitely looked like this girl that be running with Quite to be homegirl. So it just is what it is. Shout out to her. All right. Can y'all hear me? Oh, I hope y'all can hear me. I hope it's all good in the hood. If it ain't, it is what it is. Like I throw another party, throw another party, throw another party. Okay, it just is what it is. And let that bullshit stress me. Okay, it just is what it is. It's 2026. So yeah, now truth is like whenever some bullshit come up, just tell yourself it's 2026. Like that is like crazy. It is. It is 2026. That is like a crazy ass date. Like that's man, that's on some Back to the Future shit, right? Like it's 2026. I shouldn't even be dealing with no bullshit. So anyway, Cardi B and Akbar V, they can't stand each other. They been getting into it. You know, and Akbar V been dropping music. And the music, to me, in my personal opinion, was it was given, okay? It is what it is. Like she got some type of song, she be saying, how I feel to be how I feel. I like it. Okay, it is what it is. I like the song. But anyway, so these girls don't like each other for real. You know, like for real. This ain't no. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no get in the booth, bitch type shit. You know? I mean, they could get in the booth, but they don't like each other still. So, some people they get in the booth and that's all they doing. Which we love. You know what I'm saying? As a hip hop fan, I love that. It is what it is. But again, these girls can't stand each other. So Akbar V,
gets on TikTok with Tia Kim. And here's when I say Akbar has to learn how to read the room. This is the thing. Do I think that like people can coexist? Yes, I do. In other words, can Tia Kemp and Akbar V like be in the same room? Yes, I think they should be able to be in the same room. But like that is going to be up to the people. And to me, you know what I'm saying? Akbar V wasn't reading the room. You know, Tia Kemp be acting like she is a like she's a Cardi B fan. It is what it is. So if Tia Kim be acting like she's a Cardi B fan, like she loves Cardi B down, why would you be on TikTok with her? Like it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say this though. I will say this though. And y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. It's just weird. It is. It's real weird because once I think about it though, Tia Kim actually she be kicking it with Young, but she talked to Young Miami, and Young Miami don't fool with Cardi B. So at that point, it seems like I don't know. Like people pick and choose. Which I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But at the end of the day, right? To me, and this is just me and my personal opinion, Akbar V did it to herself because don't even put yourself in the room with no bitches that you not sure about. Yeah, not like Black China said, are you texting bitches? Yes or no? I mean, that's what it's going to boil down to. Is you texting bitches? Yes or no? And like, yeah. See, like everybody wanna. I don't know. I can't explain it. I really can't. I can't. It's hard to explain. But, it's like, okay, in other words, everybody want to be down, like Brandy. you know, Meaning, y'all don't care where y'all go. And that's the problem. Shit. That's the problem. I'm going to need you to have some type of in your shit. Meaning I wouldn't hang with them and I don't, shit. And I don't care. That goes for the internet. That goes for real life. That goes for every situation. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, somebody was saying that they feel like Akbar V, somebody put Akbar V and him alive together. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Akbar V was bamboozled into doing the live. You know, it is what it is. Somebody messy, and probably don't represent now soccer team. Okay, I'm just saying. uh, uh, child, look. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Lesson learned. Akbar B, quit being so thirsty. Shit, I thought you, I thought you had to feed your water. I'm just saying, sis, I thought you had to feed your water. Like, listen, drink on that water, and stick with God. It just is what it is. Cause I'm saying like this. That Akbar B situation was kind of sad to me. It was sad to me because I was listening to what Akbar was saying, right? And Akbar was saying that she got emotional not because she had an argument with somebody, which I believe. She said she got emotional because she's been praying to God to change change. You know what I'm saying? For a change. And she said she feels like she's been, you know, having to fight for it, for that said change. You know, it just is what it is. And so, like, you know, with that being said, she said, so that's what made her cry. You know what I'm saying? Because she feels like she keep asking God to remove her from situations, and she keep putting herself back into those said situations. You know what I'm saying? So she said, you know, it just put her in her feelings. You know, which I could totally understand. Child, I could totally understand. I could definitely sympathize and empathize with that. You know, it's sad. But at the end of the day, get your ass off a line. You know, get your ass from being online. You know, it is what it is. Cause I could tell, man, I'll tell y'all right now. Uh, you know, sometimes I could be just like telling somebody how I feel about something, and then all of a sudden I start feeling like, am I finna cry? You know, and it's like, no. Now ain't the time to cry, damn it. You know what I'm saying? You getting on, you know. So I like I said, I could definitely sympathize and empathize with what she was going through. And I definitely believe Akbar. I do not think that argument made her cry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, I was sad. I ain't got sad for Akbar. It is what it is. Because that was sad to me. You know what I'm saying? Just to even hear her say that, like, she's been in a spiritual welfare and she feel like she battling with, you know, her flesh and her spirit, you know, at the moment. You know, that made me sad for her. You know, it is what it is. But Akbar, baby, you gotta learn how to read the room and stay out of these rooms that aren't deserving of you. You know, it just is what it is. And that's coming from somebody who knows, baby. Trust me. I know. And I get it. Hold on. So anyway, I felt really, really bad for Akbar. I did. That shit, you know, made me sad for her, you know. But at the end of the day, learn your lesson and keep it moving, child. It is what it is, you know. If I'm Akbar, I wouldn't be caught ever again dealing with, know, the person that put me in that type of situation. Yeah, that girl, please.
I wish I would. It just is what it is. But yes, baby, you're gonna have to learn to read the room. So anyway, that's what's going on. And then I need to listen to
Cardi B is Cardi B kind of like getting her, you know what I'm saying? Like she getting that Akbar V a little bit. So they say. I don't know how true that is. I'm gonna listen to the song and then I'll let y'all know. Which is funny to me though, cause I was saying yeah, I'm wondering if Cardi B gonna even respond to Akbar because Cardi B like it's helped with her raps. So it's like somebody gotta basically she gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? And here come Akbar B talking about yeah, you gotta pay that Cardi fee, that party fee. Oh Lord, yeah, I did say that. I did say that. So shout out to Cardi B though, who yeah. I guess, however, whether she paid and I move a little
Lord.
and I move a little
Lord. I kind of
You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Because a lot of people that be having something to say about Akbar V don't like her. You understand? So why am I gonna take advice from haters? Shit, my haters. It just no, it don't make no sense. You know? So you gotta be careful with that. Like really careful with that. Again, some new music, and she's allegedly, supposedly responded to Akbar V, and I want to hear it. It is what it is. I can't wait to hear it. I'm glad for Cardi B outside. It is what it is. She got a lot of uh, uh, attention on her right now. You know what I'm saying? She got a lot of people paying attention. Happy, you know. It is what it is. It's free promo at the end of the day. And see, Akbar V got to learn how to use free promo, make free promo work for her too. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it just is what it is. Shit, like if you gonna be trending all day, make sure you put some music up. Post your music, Akbar. It is what it is. Shout out to her. Shout out to Cardi B. I rock with all the rap girls. Yeah, now truth is, I don't really play that neutral shit. I don't. I don't really play that neutral shit. I play it to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna be in the middle. Yeah, nah. I mean, I'm not Moni, so I'm not gonna be in the middle. Yeah, each and every time. Nah, I'm just not gonna be in the middle each and every time. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense to be getting in the middle with nobody's shit. It's stupid. Actually, it's stupid, and I'm not doing it. You know, the truth is, I'm not doing anybody that I don't know in real life. It just is what it is. So shout out to that. We could all have our faves. You know, it's nothing wrong with having, your fave, But at the same time, you kind of want to steer clear away from that too. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I don't have time to be being biased. I don't have time for that. Yeah, no, truth is, I wanna be able to talk that talk with y'all. Shit, from an unbiased standpoint. So it is what it is. Uh, Now I'm trying to see what else we was talking about tonight. Blueface. Oh, let me tell y'all before I end up getting out of here. For real, let me tell y'all real quick. So Neveah thinks she's slick. So Blueface, we all know Blueface has been back from Miami with Christian, who Neveah thinks she's so much better than. Girl, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If she thinks she better than, she thinks she better than. You know, that's her perspective. Girl, you know what I'm saying, girl. But anyway, I will say this: she, Neveah is telling she is telling Blue Boy. Okay, so in other words, she going to the X toy store, and telling Adam 22 that like Blueface don't, Blueface don't be messing around like that. I see what you doing, girl. She trying to make it seem like, yeah, now don't be worried about my cootie coo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Otherwise, the best say don't worry about her Kit Kat is good. Um, she trying to make it seem like Blueface ain't tapping that like that. I said, Blueface better be able to read the room, baby. Cause he sure seemed like he didn't like her telling their business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he seemed like he didn't like that. But Nevaeh trying to be calculated. So shout out to her and shout out to that. I see what's going on when it comes to Nevaeh, baby. Yeah. Now truth is, I already told y'all that though. Like for instance, when he was in Miami, Nevaeh knew everybody was waiting to see how she was gonna be when he got back. So how she was. She was, you know what I'm saying? She barely gave anything. Child, I would have been putting on a performance would have made Netflix and Tubi call me. I'd have did the most. Listen, for everybody that wants to see a bitch come down the slide,
I would have did the most. Ugh. You want the truth? Shit. I'll tell y'all that right now, baby. I would have put on a show. Would have had 50 Cent, Tyler, all them MNFers calling. Let me too. Shit. Child, but that's just hold on. Child, if I was Nevaeh, I would have got me a little. I would have got me. I would have got me a nomination for a little daytime. She don't really, you know what I'm saying? Shit. By the time I got through performing, yeah. I say by the time I got through performing, putting on the performance, shit. Lemmy wouldn't have been the only one calling. I know that. So shit. But anyway, yeah, I was listening to her. China Bell think she slick. Now all of a sudden, they ain't doing nothing. Oh, child, a mess. But anyway, y'all, it's your girl Shay Renee. I came, I saw, I conquered. Y'all make sure y'all hit the damn like. I think I told y'all everything I wanted to tell y'all. Hold on, I done got distracted real quick. Hold on, by a phone call. Y'all, hold on. I need to put my flowers in some water too. Yes, y'all. Okay, so let me put my flowers in some water real quick. Hold on. Oh, I'm trying to think real quick. I'm trying to think. There's something on my mind. I'm trying to see what I was trying to tell y'all though. I can't even think right now. Shout out to that. Anyway, it'll come back to me, I'm sure. Yes, y'all, I need to listen to like these new songs. I'm gonna do a reaction. Oh, it's been a lot. Okay, hold on. We're gonna switch gears. I'm gonna talk about Clarissa Shields. Hold on. Shout out to Clarissa. I like Clarissa, man. I do. I like Clarissa. Some days I be feeling like that's my girl, you know. But not, you know. I like Clarissa though. That's not my girl, you know what I'm saying? But damn yeah, you know, cause I like Clarissa. It is what it is. That's why, as a Clarissa Shields fan, uh, from a Shields fan standpoint, it was really hard. Hold on. Not was. It really is hard. It is what it is. It is. It's hard watching her do all of this stuff about, you know, with Papoose and around Papoose. And, you know, it's just like, man, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, tell the kids. Let me just, please put my flowers in some water and then they can just do their thing. Um, what was I telling y'all now? Hold on. I know I'm trying not to get distracted, but I am distracted. Anyway, though, let me just say. Let me get my flowers going. I need to give me a. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I got some scissors right here still. Oh, yeah, I do. So, anyway. I want to listen to Cardi B's song. Y'all scoot up, get comfortable, hit the like button. I'm loving the house, y'all. I have not started decorating. I know, I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time. I told myself, I want to give myself a year to be done. I want to give myself a year to do everything. And I said, I'm going to ask y'all, if y'all, how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think that that's a good amount of time? Do y'all think that's too long? Y'all feel like y'all would do it sooner? Let me know what y'all think. I know it definitely depends on what you need to. So that's that. Thank God I don't need a lot of big stuff. But I do need some, you know, big items. It is what it is. Some stuff I do need, child. And then Operation, you know, what can't the kids break, child, is definitely still in full effect. So there's always that, you know, it's always a challenge. Shit, keeping the stuff, you know, that you not already spend money on around. So anyway, though, gave myself a year. I'm giving myself a year, y'all. And again, I did want to ask y'all, you know, what y'all think about that? I think a year is fair. Yeah, it is what it is. So that's that. I'm definitely gonna have to, you know, just start. I know these ain't bugs, but why they look like bugs? They look like they could be bugs. I don't know what they are. But come on now. Come on now, HB. Get it together because I don't care what they are. I don't want to see them on my flowers. Shit. But anyway, the hell is that? So back to what I was trying to tell y'all. Let me listen to Cardi B song. Y'all make sure y'all scoot up, get comfortable, hit the like. It's your girl Shay Renee. Okay, and I'm in the building. I'm here. I'm gonna be here all day. Well, not not like literally, but like Friday, so to speak. Okay. Shout out to you. Y'all got me. It's Friday and y'all got me, okay? I was thinking about doing me a little run today. I don't know how I feel about that. I need to. So bad because I told y'all, child, my mom been playing tricks on me like the ghetto boys, baby. Yeah, now truth is, and I'm just like, ugh, you want the truth? I done scared myself up out of jogging right now, you know. It is what it is. Hey, listen. I don't mind being honest with myself right now. Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with it. Like, I can be like, I don't like that. But that's the honest to God truth, you know? And that's where I'm at with it right now, child. I done really, like, allowed... I just done got in my head, y'all. It is what it is. But I definitely thought about jogging. I mean, going for a run this evening. I don't know. I'll see. I'm thinking about it, though. Definitely thinking about it. Although I'm not an evening girl. But it is what it is. I just might have to be, if I want to be consistent. Because it is what it is. Y'all know I just now started back and I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit. But I'm going to tell you like this. Safety is everything. It is. It's everything. So... that's that. And let me tell y'all, yesterday I was listening to Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa was telling a story. It was so funny. I was like, now why is this on my timeline? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, maybe because I've been talking about that. This is on my timeline. But Wiz was definitely talking about running in the dark. He was. First of all, Wiz just started running. Shout out to that and shout out to him. He said he is new to running and he loved it. And I love that for him, by the way. I'm talking about Wiz Khalifa. So anyway, he's telling this story about how he got this bright idea. Not so right. Please. Not so bright. Don't listen to me at all. Because I'm being sarcastic. To run... in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Got this bright idea. He said, man, that shit ain't smart. He said it's just not smart, But I think, personally, he just let the sun go down on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he let it, the dark catch him, so to speak. Because I know he said, well, right before he started, it was not dark. But then it ended up being dark, okay? So, but then he got to talking about how, he started getting worried about, like, animals, you know what I'm saying, and coyotes and stuff like that. He was like, he is not going to be able to get with no coyote. I was like, y'all know I just told y'all a story about a lady and a coyote. Child, that coyote took that lady through there. And she said the only thing that saved her was, first of all, this coyote kept attacking her. Like, it would stop and start back like at least 3 or 4 times. This coyote whooped this lady behind, okay? He put something on her. And the crazy thing is, though, like I said, the lady, like, she was fighting back. You know what I'm saying? Like she just didn't lay down and let it do whatever it wanted to do, how it wanted to do. But, you know, to me, she just kept giving it too much opportunity to come back, you know? Because it's like it would tire her out. She would tire it out, and then it would come back and get on with somebody. Child, long story short. But this lady said the only thing that saved her from this coyote was a damn canoe, okay? She said she tried to throw the coyote into the water but ended up throwing herself into the water, and like that saved her life. Child, that saved her life. Cause I guess I don't know if the coyote couldn't swim or whatever, but he did not want to jump in after her. But it's crazy to hear Wiz Khalifa telling this story after I done told y'all, you know what I told y'all. That's just crazy to me, but you know, prayers, you know, prayers. I want to send some safety prayers up for all of the people out there, you know, that run and stuff like that, because it's not a game, it's not a joke, and it's crazy too, y'all, because like at the end, like Wiz, he gave this long ass story, right? He was telling this long story, you know, about how he lost his key and this and this and that, right? It was a long story. But when he got done at the end, he was like, but y'all know what? Sorry, y'all. He basically was saying, long story short, he said, I'm getting a treadmill. I thought that was so funny. Yes, and a flex. Baby, I thought that was a big ass flex. I would love to get a treadmill. You know what? I don't think I'm necessarily ready for a treadmill, so I don't know. But I will say this. I think my sister got one, so I might have to ask my sister, if I can get hers or something. Cause like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, you know, after he said it, I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying? Cause it was a funny point in the story. It definitely was. But I'm also thinking to myself, you know what I'm saying? Dang, that's a flex though, you know? Sure is, baby. That's a huge flex, I'm trying to tell you. But I love nature. You know, I love nature. That's why I mean, no, I take that back. I wouldn't say I love nature, but I do like being out in it. I do. So that's why I don't like gyms and stuff like that. I'm not a gym type of person. Like, if I'm a workout, I'd rather work out in nature. So I don't know if a treadmill would be, you know, but I know it would do me some good right now. Yeah, nah, truth is just to get that, you know, them miles in, y'all. Sure. Cause it is what it is. Like, that shit ain't a joke, you know? I don't know, but that's how life is. That's how life is. It's always something, you know? Like I told y'all, I struggle with exercising, you know, just needing the energy and the, you know, wanting to do it. I struggle with that, but like now that I want to do it, now here comes another struggle. You know what I'm saying? Just not necessarily having nowhere to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, safely, like that. Cause I'm gonna tell you like this, like if you know, neighborhoods are cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of neighborhoods either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's how people end up on trails anyway. But I told y'all about them trails. Them trails can be kind of scary, you know? It just is what it is, depending on who you ask. And I'm telling you, I'm giving my opinion. Trails can be kind of scary. And like I was telling y'all last week, a lot of people be dependent on, like a lot of people that are on trails, they like to depend on the fact that, okay, I'm not the only one out here. Like, it's lots of people that come out here and work and jog and run and, be bicycle and stuff like that. But you cannot put all your trust and faith into that, because like so many people get attacked on the same trails that they feel like it's a lot of people on. So you have to take that into account. Like, it be a lot of people out there, but it's a lot of alone time. Shoot. Because one time I was on a trail alone with a coyote. The only thing is he was way across the field and I was on the trail. But when I tell y'all that distance, he was a good distance too. Probably like 50 yards or something like that. But it doesn't matter. I was still scared and I was still worried. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. And I didn't, and I definitely remember feeling like, where is anybody at? It was nobody. It was just him and I, you know. And I definitely remember feeling like, I gotta get the hell on. I gotta get away from him. It is what it is. So, child, be mindful. Okay, it just is what it is. Everybody make sure they're being safe. And hit the damn light. Now, like I was telling y'all, Clarissa Shields, I like Clarissa Shields. You know what I'm saying? Unlike a lot of women, I am a sports fan. So I know who Clarissa Shields is, if that makes sense. It's too many people that didn't know. No, I'm not going to say it's too many people, but there is a lot of people that didn't know who Clarissa was before she got with Papoose. I'm not one of them, okay? I'm not one of them. I was a Clarissa Shields fan before she got with Papoose. It is what it is. So, I've been rooting for Shields and I never stopped rooting for her. It was just like her getting with Papoose, it kind of made me, sideways. Her as a person, sideways. Side eye her decision making. It just is what it is. And like Clarissa has to understand that. That's the truth. She does. She has to understand that. How can I put it? It's like nobody should be messing with a married man, but these people, or but her. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like Clarissa Shields wants the rules to be changed. Girl, listen, like we didn't make them. You understand? Like, we didn't make the rules, Clarissa. You understand? So it can't, they can't be changed for you, Pooh. I'm sorry. It just is what it is, So what do you do? What can you do? At the end of the day, you can go find somebody that's available. One, you know what I'm saying? Like legally, on paper, you ain't got to deal with all this drama, gossip, backlash, and all of that shit with your brand. You know what I'm saying? Another thing you could do is you could just, like quit making everything about your relationship, and just go back to being Clarissa Shields the boxer, not Clarissa Shields in a relationship with Papoose. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was for me. I started feeling like, okay, Clarissa, you kind of tanking your brand with this. I don't want to see you do that. You know, as a Shields fan, it just is what it is. Uh, so shout. Okay, I'm back. Hit the like button. Now, I will say this though. Clarissa is just like anybody else. To me, she has some decision making to do. Like she has to decide. Like either, either I'm a be either I'm gonna be Clarissa Shields the brand, or I'm gonna be Clarissa. Like I'm gonna incorporate Papoose too. It is what it is. And honestly, I think she's been doing a little bit of experimenting. Okay, I do. Uh, to the point where like she experimenting with incorporating Papoose. Been there, done that. She saw the way it was received. She seen the way it affects the algorithm. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever she got from out of it, she got from out of it. But I feel like she definitely like I can't explain it, but I feel like she um I don't know. Y'all. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Anyway, I felt like she was able to get whatever it is she wanted to get out of that. Does that make? And so now I feel like she's on a different type of experimental run. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think I could be wrong, y'all. So don't quote me. But I definitely think right now she like experimenting with like getting back to just Clarissa only, without Papoose so much, Um, I think Clarissa is finally starting to see and get that, like, how can I put it? Like, um, oh, my bad, y'all. Hold on. I was just talking and wasn't even talk like y'all couldn't even hear me. But anyway, like I was trying to say, um, hell, and then kind of forgot I said so damn much. But overall, I think Clarissa and Papoose, okay, both of them, I think they finally starting to get it through their greasy head. I know I just had to say that it is what it is. Like, yeah, just I don't know. No tea, no shade, no disrespect. I like them both. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that they both starting to get it through their head that like that black love, that Papoose is a good man. Like that shit. I hate to say it, but like I think it's played out. You know what I'm saying? And then when I say that, I think it's played out in a sense where like I feel like you only have action at that once. You know, like not being a good man, of course not, but like capitalizing off of it almost and like making it your brand or something. You know what I'm saying? That's like Russell Wilson and Sierra breaking things off, and then here he come trying to be all of that and all of that with the next woman. Russell will never be all of what we see him to be for Sierra with the next woman. It just is what it is. You don't I hate to say it, but you don't necessarily get a swing at that type of thing twice. You know what I'm saying? Now that's not saying that you can't do it twice. You can. Of course you can. But you can't capitalize off of it and well you can. You really can. But I just feel like, it depends on who's trying to do it, one, and what they trying to do. Because honestly, I feel like it will be hard for a lot of people. Though it's gonna be really, really hard. It just depends. But okay, my bad. Yeah, no, I feel like it could be done again, but I definitely feel like it's. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like it could be done again, but it'll probably be like for like a different audience or something. If that makes sense. I know I'm trying to make sense of it, but I just feel like you just don't get to do that type of thing twice. It is what it is. So, I think that is finally starting to sink in for Clarissa or Papoose or whichever one of them, was trying to like take that role or something, take on that role or something like that. Because the thing is, like, it's hard to see Papoose as a good man to Clarissa when he is someone else's man legally on paper. It just is what it is, you know? So he could be saving her from a damn gorilla in the woods, you know? And it's gonna take away the love story. It's gonna take away from it. Because the Remy Ma situation, you know, and Clarissa has to understand that. It's no different than the people on what's the people called? Y'all hit the like button. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all are engaging with the chat. I mean with the show. Um, dang, what is it called? The polygamist. Okay, so the polygamist, right? The polygamist at some point it kind of tugged at your heartstrings because it was like, oh my God, these people are married. You know, these people love each other. They share a love for one another. You know, they have a connection that nobody else will understand. Um, but them. So it had some beautiful moments, if that makes sense. You know, at some points, it had some good moments within the story regarding the husband and the wife, you know. But all of that nasty and trashy stuff he was doing just outweighed the beauty of the situation. It outweighed the beauty in the entire story. You know what I'm saying? And so, like with that being said, Clarissa Shields, she doesn't understand. She doesn't. She doesn't get it. I don't know if it's just honestly. I just think it's like I think it could be a mixture of things. It could be a mixture of being mature enough to understand it, and it can also be a combination of it's just it's it could be a personality thing too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now truth is because it's always listen. It's always different personalities. Different personalities make the world go around. You know what I'm saying? So just like you got people that will do the most trifling thing. You know what I'm saying? We all know the people that be on Jerry Springer, the one that didn't mess with the homegirl man, and then mess with the roommate man, and now she messing with her sister man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always gonna be somebody that does things that don't make no sense to us. You know what I'm saying? But can make total perfect sense to them. You know? So I don't know. I really don't know. To me, it's gonna take for Clarissa Shields to go through it herself to anyway, uh, you know, so it's crazy. You know, it's just really crazy. And you know, for the first time ever, I felt a little sorry for Clarissa. And it is what it is. I really don't really ever feel sorry for Clarissa in ever in this situation. Because, it is what it is. Um, but And I'm gonna tell y'all why I felt sorry for her in a minute. But you know, again, it's like it's like she's trying to make a negative situation into something positive, and that just I don't you know, good luck with that, type of thing. It just is what it is. Good luck with that. But I will say this: you will have people who feel like Clarissa, who will celebrate them and support them. And you will also always have people who are in the same situation as Clarissa, who will support them and feel where they're coming from. It just is what it is. In my personal opinion, though, I think Clarissa needs to back off of uh including Papoose in with her brand. It is what it is. I understand that they're in business together or however they might be in business together. I don't necessarily understand it all. The Boom Records situation. All I know is Clarissa keeps saying that Papoose is not her manager. Okay, so I guess I understand that much. But the rest, I don't know. It's not very clear, exactly what type of business that they are in together. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like, I listen, if that's her guy, right? That's her guy. She says that's her guy. And I don't expect her to like leave him at home, so to speak, But at the same time, I definitely think that like yeah, just like I told y'all, it seems like there is a new era, you know what I'm saying? Almost like social media, that social media era is coming to an end. I think that there is a new era as far as Clarissa Shields goes in her relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think at first she was really, 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 really gun ho on, like pushing the whole Papoose and her narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. Obviously, she liked what him and his wife had going. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. She must have liked that. You know what I'm saying? And she must have said, I want that. You know? But it wasn't received the same. It wasn't received the same because he still got a wife, So he had to realize that ain't gonna work. Clarissa had to realize that ain't gonna work. Now I think she's in a new space right now where she's like, you know what? Let me see how promoting this fight goes with just me. Just me. Let me fall back on all that relationship stuff and just, and shout out to her and shout out to that because I personally think that's the way she needs to go. It just is what it is. That's personally how I feel about it. Okay, and that's coming from you know a fan's perspective. All right, being a Clarissa Shields fan. Now, um, so Clarissa Shields was just recently asked a question, right? And the interviewer, you did an amazing job with the question, but you did not do that well with the follow-up, honey. Like, listen, it's one thing to make your guests uncomfortable. It's another thing to just like stay there. Does that make sense? So and not let them like it's almost like she had a fish on her hook and she let it get away. It is what it is. She let it get away. She basically asked Clarissa, you know, how long is too long before you decide that you don't want to be with somebody else's husband? And Clarissa said that's not somebody else's husband. He filed for a divorce. And a lot of people was like, Clarissa, so he's not divorced. He is still her husband. And Clarissa Shields was like, but if y'all gonna call him her husband, then y'all need to start calling her his wife. At the end of the day, Clarissa, he's still a husband. Okay. Whether the divorce was filed for or not, until he is divorced with a D at the end, See, you can file for a divorce, but it's not finalized. You know what I'm saying? Until it got a D on the end. Divorced. You know what I'm saying? So until he is divorced, he is Remy's husband. Okay? Bottom line, let's get that clear. All right. That we got to get that crystal clear before we can even move forward. But I want to say this. The lady, started letting Clarissa say all of that type of stuff without saying that is her husband, though. They are still married. So the question is, you never answered it. How long does Papoose have to get divorced? You see what I'm saying? Because to me, it sounds like, to me, it seems like Clarissa understood the question well. She just dodged it. You know what I'm saying? Which that's an even harder question. You know what I'm saying? Because let's talk about it. Or let's talk about it. Like, how long do he got? Or you haven't even thought about that. Or you scared to say. Or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like she shouldn't have never let Clarissa bail on that question. Hold on, Clarissa. I understand everything you said, but let me re-ask you the question. How long does Papoose have to be married, sis? That's what we asking you. Period. You know what I'm saying? Before you say, I'm gonna go ahead and, it is what it is. So hopefully, the lady will get an answer to her question. Because I was just about to say, hopefully, the next interviewer, but that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the lady's, it's her question. But it is what it is. She let Clarissa make it. She should have never let Clarissa make it. It is what it is. You have to stay on it. You know what I'm saying? And when you feel like somebody is, dang, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Deflecting. It's okay. Give them time to do that, and then get right back on with what you were saying. You see what I'm saying? Like you didn't quite answer what I was saying though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you went to the left where Beyonce was talking about me. And I need you to stay right here. Yeah, right here. You know what I'm saying? With it, girl. Please. Which was a good ass question. Yeah, now truth is that was a good ass question. Now I will say this though. I was in the comments and I was reading what people was basically saying. They kind of feel sorry for Clarissa because um Papoose and Remy don't get asked these questions. And I said, come on, oh, come on, come on, come on. I said, shit, I done found my crowd now. Yeah, come on, talk to me, sis. I said, because you talking that talk. I loved it. I loved it. Because I said, you ain't wrong when you're right. I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Because I like Angie Martinez. Angie Martinez is a vet in this game. Okay? But she recently just did an interview with Remy Ma. And I need to see the whole video. I didn't see the whole interview, but I definitely seen clips. And I'm sure if there was a clip of this, it would have been on the internet. Now, Remy, if you gonna come up here, Remy, you have to answer some of these tough questions. She gonna sit up there and let Remy Ma talk about being single, but then discuss nothing about the divorce? No. I said no. Okay, no in my finesse voice. The truth is, some of you interviewers, y'all do. Y'all gotta quit being so friendly and start asking these questions that like people want to know. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I know you up here to promote. Yeah, and that bitch jam. But get what? The people want to know what's going on with your divorce. You see? Because you up here hollering about you single, but you not really single on paperwork. So what's going on with the paperwork? You know what I'm saying? And hey, they gonna do what they do. Well, because it's a legal matter, I can't. Okay, well, what can you tell us? If anything. Yeah, no, truth is, it just is what it is. And that I kind of do agree with. You know what I'm saying? To me, they do need to quit pussyfooting, asking Clarissa about Papoose and Remy marriage and ask Papoose and Remy. The bottom line. Yeah, now that the truth is. That's what they really need to start doing. You know what I'm saying? And Clarissa Shields needs to start being able to tell them, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the interview. I appreciate the opportunity. But, baby, this is Clarissa Shields in front of you. I ain't here to talk about none of that. You know, none of that shit that don't pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. She is Clarissa Shields. Shit. And Clarissa Shields got enough to talk about, okay? Without having to talk about no Remy Ma and Papoose. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta be real, like, I don't think that she is the only one that should be getting like bashed behind a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because she not the only one in it. You know, start bashing, start holding them married folks accountable too though. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, because trust me, you know, um, I do think that Remy Ma, although I don't think she wants Papoose anymore, I do think that Remy Ma gets a kick out of, you know, people bashing Clarissa for sleeping with Papoose while he married. You know what I'm saying? And claiming him and being with him while he married. You know, I think Remy Ma eats that up. You know? But I can't, you know, can't nobody, I ain't Remy Ma for that because that's not, you know, that's Clarissa Shields' decision to be making. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, no, I definitely, this interview made me start seeing things just a little different. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit different. And at the end of the day, yeah, the married folks, they need to start answering some tougher questions about their relationship. Bottom line, how long do y'all two plan on being married? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's what they need to be being answered, you know? And I take it a step further, like, I don't know. It's just weird, you know? Remy Ma all up at this station talking about she's single and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, what was the point of that? Some people feel like it got something to do with divorce. With the divorce. You know, and like infidelity and all of that, all of that, all of that. Like, I don't know. And I can't get all that deep off into it, you know? But I will say this. You come over here with me, yeah, I'm going to need you to say something, baby. Period. Like Drake said, we not doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's basically how these that's basically how blogs and stations slash the artist relationships work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give me a little something. For real. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta give me all of it, you know. But give me a little something. You know what I'm saying? Um, And yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, they dang sure should have asked Remy. They need to ask Remy and they need to ask Papoose what they got going. You know? Shit. Because at the end of the day, child, I don't call up RuPaul because they dragging it. The fuck, y'all? Child, yes. And that's basically what I wanted to tell y'all about Clarissa Shields them dog. Yeah, just for a split second, you know, I started seeing things a little different. And it's all good. What you want? Anyway, so and child, yeah, shout out to that. But yeah, shout out to Clarissa Shields, you know what I'm saying? Who, is doing her thing, getting ready for her next fight. I definitely think she is it's hard to explain, but I think she is like testing the algorithm, so to speak. Yeah, no, truth is, I think she is just seeing how she is received with papoose and seeing how she is received, without papoose. And honestly, I think people receive her better when she leave that married ninja at home, okay? It just is what it is. And I get it. I'm really, and as a married woman, it's hard. Trust me, it's hard, baby, it's hard. But I'm really starting to try. I'm trying, Clarissa. Give me a minute, bitch. I'm saying I'm trying, baby. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say the B word, but I mean that as a term of endearment. And not the other way. I didn't mean it like nasty, but like I am really trying. You know what I'm saying? Like to see things from her perspective. And this is how I see it from her perspective. Her perspective is, to me, she doesn't understand, you know, the laws of the land like that, but it is what it is. Like it's all in the Bible. It's all in the Bible, Clarissa. And like I said, the people don't have that kind of power. The people didn't make the rules. God did. So it is what it is. And so with that being said, that's just how you gonna go up against that, Clarissa? Like you want us to go up against that? You know, it's like, girl, please. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Girl, we can only help you. You know what I'm saying? The best way that we know how. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And to me, the best way that I know how is just like, just don't. You know what I'm saying? Just don't F up the brand in my Jada White voice. Like, please. You know what I'm saying? Separate the two. It just is what it is. Don't tank your brand, Because I don't care. As a Clarissa Shields fan, like, I have never seen nothing like, damn, it's kind of hard to put it. But I never seen nothing like, in other words, I've been watching Clarissa have to fight for her life. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the ring. It looked like she been having to fight to be happy, fight to be seen. It's been a lot. And I have never seen her go through nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? In other words, her even getting into it with her family doesn't really hurt her brand as much as this has, if that makes sense. Yeah, now truth is, let's talk about it. Like even with the Layla Ali thing, I think a lot of people sided with Layla just because they don't like Clarissa. A lot of people don't like Clarissa just because she messing with Papoose. You feeling me? You feeling me? So it's just like, yeah, it's just like one of those things where, um, you know, she can just be tanking her brand. It kind of reminds me of Cardi B a little bit. Yeah, no, truth is, let's talk about it. It kind of reminds me of Cardi B. Um, and Bad Baby too. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad Baby, a lot of people don't like her baby daddy. So to me, that tanks her brand a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is because clearly she's in love. Clearly she ain't going nowhere. Um, and so remember when Cardi B said she had to leave Offset because it was just too much drama surrounding him. In other words, Cardi B felt like Offset was effing up her brand. You know what I'm saying? Truth is, so she had to make a hard decision to leave her husband. Imagine that. But it is what it is. I think eventually Clarissa might have to come to now. Hey, it's up to her. Okay, she keep on keeping on. Absolutely, she can. But I think eventually she gonna have to make a decision to like separate the two. I'm Clarissa Shields. I'm a world 4-time, 5-time, 6, 7-time, whatever time champ, a gold medalist. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound, I'm the best girl out. And, that's me. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Now, outside of that, am I in a relationship? Yes. And that's just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she just got to get back to the point where, uh, this black love, this gold love, this green love, this stuff with Papoose just isn't overshadowing who she is. Come on now, cause think about it. What other boxer do you know like that? You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Shakur. Hell, Shakur is married and he's still, it's just Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Rowley, Lamont Roach, Pitbull Cruz, what's that other boy? Connor Ben. You see, Earl Spence. You know, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but it's not them and such and such. You know what I'm saying? So it just needs to be her brand is Clarissa Shields, not Clarissa Shields and Papoose. You see? And Clarissa got to get to the point where she does like, listen, I don't need to share my brand with you, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about not sharing my brand with you either. You know what I'm saying? Because this is mine. You know, and not even on no selfish ish, but it is what it is. This is mine, baby. This was built, not bought. And I'll be damned if you let her just because you don't like the way a nigga talk. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. What's his name? I don't even watch that, but he did that. Man, he did that. I cannot think of his name. From the Shy, man, he did that. You know, but it is what it is. Clarissa, um, shit. You know, Um, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, shout out to Clarissa Shields, and that I like Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I like Clarissa. Pound for pound, Clarissa is that girl. She is. She that girl. So I really hate to see her going through the stuff that she be going through, because it's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but yeah, it just, I don't know. I was gonna say it's unwarranted, but that might not be the right word. It's just unnecessary, if that makes sense. Shy, just leave them at home. It is what it is. You got to learn to leave them at home. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of Bobby and Whitney. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Nobody wanted Whitney with Bobby. And eventually, I'm not gonna say that Bobby tanked the Whitney brand, but he definitely changed it. He changed it. It is what it is, because to me, Whitney refused to leave Bobby at home. But I hate using them because they're so different and totally two different things, But it is what it is. To me, that's a good example, of sometimes, the people just don't want both of y'all, you know. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta make a OG call. It is what it is. And Clarissa Shields deciding to not have Papoose dancing in every video it's just an OG call to me. And to me, it's just like it's one of the smartest decisions. Like it's like a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like it's just like duh. It's almost like a duh moment. Like that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I'm gonna tell you like this: even if Clarissa Shields doesn't necessarily agree, right? Just sit down with 5 people. You know what I'm saying? 5 people who you trust the most. You trust these people, with your everything. You know what I'm saying? And you damn sure trust their decision making and their advice. And just ask them, do you believe, you know what I'm saying, that Papoose is a bad look for me? And dating Papoose publicly, and this and that. Do you, and see what they say? 5 different people that you trust. And that is really how you'll get your answer to me. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Because when people really love you and when people really care about you, all of that, like, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear is out the window. Yeah, now truth is, And I take it a step further: when you really get you some real good, honest people in your life too. You know what I'm saying? Not yes men. I cannot stress to y'all how I tell y'all all the time. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. I tell y'all all the time how important it is to have honest people around you. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people bump heads with the honest people around them because they tell them stuff about themselves that they don't necessarily like. You know, it is what it is. Like, respect the honesty, though. At some point, you have to respect the honesty, you know? Even though it's hard, it is what it is. It's hard at times, child. Uh, but I just, it's just something that I rather have, if I'm being real. I'd rather have somebody around being 100% completely honest with me versus telling me lies or um holding back, you know, vital information that you feel like could help me. If you feel like it could help me, tell me. It doesn't matter how you think it's going to make me feel. You see what I'm saying? So that's just me. That's just me, and that's how I feel about it personally. But shout out to Clarissa Shields, shout out to Papoose. I like I said, I like them both. You know what I'm saying? As individuals, being a content creator, sometimes it's ooh, there's a really fine line between, your personal opinion versus creating content. It can be such a really fine line. And like I was saying, as a married woman, right? As a married woman, it's so hard to say anything positive about the two. But I have to, like, almost like shush that part of me. So like the content creator and me can just, hey, you know, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It really is. It's crazy. It is when you think about it. It really is. Because, the married woman in me is like, I don't really have no sympathy or empathy for the situation. It's like, girl, go on. You know what I'm saying? To marry me. You successful. There's no way in hell you should be dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? That's to marry me. Without all of not the content creator in me. The content creator in me is like, girl, if you gonna do it, just leave this man at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't F up the brand. That's the content creator in me. It is what it is. But the married woman in me is screaming like, this is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Child. So it is what it is. I don't know. Personally, it took time, baby, but I'm here. Okay, so shout out to that. Like, I just had to take my feelings out of it, if that makes sense. Yeah, now truth is, because that's the thing. When you doing this type of stuff, you definitely. I'm not gonna say you have to, but I think you should. It is what it is. I definitely think you should. Now I will say this. We're human. Okay, so it is what it is. We're human, and I feel like humans tend to, you know, they tend to have favorites. They tend to sway. You know, it is what it is. We're human. We have feelings. And real thoughts and stuff like that. We're people. But at the end of the day, we should, in my personal opinion, we should just coach ourselves, and just learn to, like, um almost like put our feelings to the side a little bit. Yeah, now truth is, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like you just gotta put your feelings to the side and speak on the matter at hand, so to speak. It is what it is. And I'll take it a step further. It's crazy. It really is. Um, because in my personal honest opinion, these celebrities, they don't really know what they dealing with, if that makes sense. Yeah, now truth is, I don't care. Let's talk about it. I feel like when we up here as content creators and podcast hosts and radio show hosts and all of that, right? I feel like if 10 is the number, would you, if it, like, let's say you 100%, you know what I'm saying, let it be known how you feel about a person or a situation, and 10 is the highest number, I think people be getting to a 7, a 6, 6.5, you know what I'm saying, if that makes sense. um so in other words, I think, you know instead of saying you're nasty. You're nasty, and anybody that you're dealing with is disgusting. You got to sit up there and teeter around that. You got to sit around and key and ha 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 and so in other words, you don't necessarily really get the real. You get what people think you want to hear, or you get what people think um is cool to share with you. You know what I'm saying? Um, like for instance, how many women actually interview Clarissa Shields and be thinking in their head, Clarissa, what you doing is wrong. Sleeping with a married man makes you a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I just feel like it's a lot of women that be wanting to say that to her, you know, but because of the position that they're in, they can't, you know. So with that being said, it sucks on both sides. It really does. It sucks because I feel like the only time that they really, really get what people really, really, really think about them, uh, is probably when hold on. The only time that they probably, really, really, really get the real is when, like, such and such says such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it gets back to them. Like, yeah, such and says such and such about you. It is what it is. But, like, I don't know. Now, that part is kind of hard to explain and kind of irrelevant about what I was saying, but like no, it kind of do make some sense though. In other words, it go back to what I was saying. When we as content creators, yes, we be having to be unbiased. We do. And to me, we don't get to say everything that we be thinking. You just can't do that. But then at the same time, you know, to me, okay, personally, when these people coming up there and y'all interviewing them, y'all got to be, you gotta get to the hard questions. It is what it is. You got to get to the hard questions. Um, like for instance, when Krishan comes for an interview, we should be asking Krishan, like, why are you still dealing with Blueface and he's not claiming the baby? Make her answer that. It just is what it is. Don't let her leave until she answer that. Don't let her talk unless she answer that. Y'all be acting like y'all so scared. And I forgot when I realized it, but I did. At some point, I started to realize that, like, um, you know, uh, the blogs and entertainers and rappers and, the people in the industry, they all need each other, in a sense. Like, they all need each other. They all feed off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like celebrities, um, You know, they be trying to get big and act like they feeling they self and blah 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 blah. But it really is good for them to have, you know, a good relationship with the blogs, you know, and vice versa. So it's not like one is any better than the other. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. But at the same time, it just is what it is. Like, y'all have to start asking these questions. You can't feel like, uh, well, if I ask her this, then that might sabotage our relationship. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, so be it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, like, okay, well, if I can't ask you this, can I ask you that? You know, it is what it is, but I don't know. I can't explain it. But to not be asking nothing that y'all know needs answers to is crazy to me. Insane. Y'all, hold on. And I take it a step further too, child. Uh, you know, and I never thought about it, you know, until now. But too, remember I was over there talking about she's single, she's single, she's single, she's single. You know, maybe, just maybe, that was another way to get up under Clarissa Shields' skin. See, I never thought about that. Yeah, now truth is, let's talk about it. You know, cause being that every time, every chance, okay, being that you know, Clarissa Shields. Okay, so everybody be on Papoose and Clarissa Shields' head about messing with each other, but nobody ever says nothing to Remy Ma. You know what I'm saying? So that be irritating Clarissa, and she always speak on that. So maybe that was why Remy Ma was like, you know, steady saying, "I'm single, I'm single, I'm single," because hell, she want to irritate Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? Probably. It just is what it is. I cannot believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. But that's what I get. Yeah, no, truth is, I hate to say it, but that's what the fuck I get. Child. Anyway. Oh, that's what I get. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, but anyway, I'm back. But anyway, yeah. Shout out to Remy Ma. I never thought about that, but I definitely think that Remy Ma. I mean, I know. I don't think to it, but I'm gonna just say I think. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like Remy Ma be doing a lot of messy shit to get under Clarissa's skin. Oh. I do. You know what I'm saying? I do. But I also think Clarissa's starting to get smart. You know what I'm saying? And she's starting to not respond to everything. You know, because at first, oh, baby, Remy used to ruffle Clarissa's feathers. You know what I'm saying? Now, not so much. See, at first, that's another thing. That's why I said I do think Remy might be getting a kick out of everything going on with Carissa Shields and Papoose. Duh. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what woman in her right mind would like, you know, basically be like, oh no, y'all be sweet to him. Papoose is a good man. He doesn't deserve that. You know, let him be happy. Hell no. He ain't gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, I think Carissa's starting to get smarter as far as like not taking the bait. you know, uh, hold on. And everybody remember I saying she's single, and everybody wondering like, okay, what happened to her and that dude? We just don't know. You know what I'm saying? We just really don't know. But, you know, Remy ain't single. Her or Papoose. That's the truth. They not single. Uh, Now I did see Clarissa say that Papoose is separated. All right, well say that then. And is it legally? Are they legally separated? Let us know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah, let them know, like T.I. said, child. You know, but at the end of the day, I just feel like media, media has to take some accountability too, cause y'all just letting these people do and come up there and say whatever the hell they want. It's like no, you know. But again, I think they be doing it because they be wanting to have relationships, you know. But at the end of the day, y'all don't work for them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of work for the people, so to speak. So, like, we the people, we don't want y'all to form relationships if it's gonna make it to the point where we can't get the answers we looking for. Yeah, now truth is, and I, you know, I'm just telling y'all that right now. So, anyway, shout out to that. And shout out to Remy Mine, shout out to Carissa Shield, shout out to Papoose. Uh, I'm not sure the lady name who interviewed Clarissa, but shout out to her. I definitely think that was a really good question. Really good question. Because, you know, let me take it a step further right quick and then I'm going to get out of here. Uh, you know, Clarissa Shields was recently being interviewed and she brought up, you know, having a baby. And the dates keep switching, child. Yes, they keep switching like a lady walking the strip. Oh, she keeps switching the dates around, but it is what it is. You know, she said she's gonna have a baby. I think next year. Now, a good follow up question to that would have been, you know, like, so, you know, does Peppers have to be divorced? You know what I'm saying? Does his divorce have to be finalized before y'all take that huge step, you know, in having a baby, or, you know, does that part really not matter so much? You know, it is what it is. That would have been a great follow-up question, you know. Child, it is what it is. These interviewers, content creators, the blogs, the news personnel, everybody, you know, listen, form your relationships. Relationships are really important. But baby, please, 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 you know, don't let this stuff, please don't let this stuff, uh, you know, prevent you from doing your job. Shoot, it just is what it is. Please, please, please. Don't allow it to, you know, prevent you from doing your job, child. You know, and that's just that. You know, shout out to creating game. It's not easy, but we can do it. So shout out to that. But anyway, after that, Pooper Stars, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I'm about to dip. I got some things I need to do. But I had a funky good time with y'all. And I'm really not ready to leave. But I gotta go right now. So y'all make sure y'all scoot up, hit the damn like. And I will see everybody on my next video. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, love yourselves, and have a good weekend, y'all. Okay? Bye.